Bruce, I wonder what your thoughts are about the importance of these UN resolutions, as I put to our earlier guest as well, Insha, because it seems that the UN is passing the buck, isn't it, Bruce? The fact that in these 5 odd decades, this hasn't been spoken about in a formal meeting at the United Nations, that isn't a good sign when it comes to even international law and the respect for UN resolutions.
No, there are at least 2 flaws in the initial resolutions that you point out, not just 50 years ago. It's close to now over 70 years ago. First of all, they should have been issued under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, which makes it mandatory on all nations of the world. It was not issued under Chapter 7. So the resolutions didn't have a mandatory binding character to them. The second flaw was that the resolutions did not provide for an option for Kashmiris to vote for self-determination, namely to be independent of either Pakistan or India. It was a bifurcated option. You either went for Pakistan or India, irrespective of whether the Kashmiris themselves wanted independence. The Kashmir went to be part of the Indian subcontinent by the unilateral decision of basically a chief who didn't consult the people whatsoever. And you ask, well, why is the UN Security Council continuing to pass the buck? It's because there are strategic interests, especially between China and Russia. Russia sends huge amounts of weapons to India. It would utilize a veto power to nullify any serious resolution. China is very close to Pakistan. China has fought wars with India over the borders, and China would reasonably do the same with regard to any resolution with teeth that it was thought favorable to India. The issues that are relevant that could concern the United States are too peripheral to become greatly involved. So it's basically a power play between Russia, China, India, and Pakistan, and the Kashmiris are left out in the cold.